There we go, rightio. So welcome to today's Cookidoo session. Like I said, just pop your questions in the chat or come off mute and ask me anything within reason. Now, can you see my Cookidoo screen there?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Great. So when you log into Cookidoo, this is what you'll come to first. And they like to change the picture around. And isn't that a nice picture that they've changed it to today? Sometimes it's a real dark, horrible picture, but I quite like today's picture. It's a bit like Google where they change the, just let that lady in, a bit like Google how they change the picture all the time. But anyway, this is where you first come to. Now, a couple of little accounty boring bits at the start of Cookidoo is if you go to up to the top where your name is and you click view profile, you will come in here and you can tell Cookidoo some things about you so that it is a little bit more structured, and it will make some suggestions for you as well. So I've clicked the time saving cook because that's me. And then in your filters, if you ever get to a point where someone shared a recipe and you can't find it on your Cookidoo, chances are that your filters are different to theirs if they've found a recipe that you can't find. So I find that having the filters set up like this means that pretty much if it's in English, you will be able to find it on your Cookidoo. So just make sure you update your filters. I think when it's set originally, it has Australia ticked, so you only see recipes that were made for Australia in Australian cookbooks. So just change it to English and change your countries to all. Now, the other thing in the little back office area is your account. So if you're on the trial of Cookidoo, or you want to know when your subscription ends, this is where all your membership details are in there. And it has all your Thermomixes listed if you've got more than one Thermomix. As you can see, I'm a bit spoilt and I've got a few Thermomixes listed there. But you can update your subscription and also update your devices here as well. So you can actually have more than one device on your Cookidoo account as well. Any questions on the back officey part of Cookidoo? Ah, very good. Karen wants to know how to import recipes and edit them on Cookidoo 3.0. You're in luck, Karen. That's part of the session today. So there you go. Rightio. So no questions. I'm hearing no, all good for back office. Excellent. Rightio. Then I guess exploring is pretty self-explanatory too. You can just type in here and type in what you're looking for. Last time I searched, I was looking for caramel slice. So, you know, anything that then has got the words caramel or slice in it will pop up. And you can also, in here, you can search by just an ingredient. So if it was just the caramel ingredient, then you get a few more results as well. Also in here is a good thing to note that if you actually want to look for a whole collection, so if you see a book that you think, oh, you know, I wouldn't mind having a look at that, you know, maybe the low carb book, you can actually change it to collection here and type in low carb, and then that will actually bring up any of the collections that are called low carb, and you can then flick through the 49 recipes that are actually make up this book. So this would be like flicking through it like you actually had the book on your iPad or, you know, on your computer or whatever. And there are some good recipes in there too. At the end of the session, I am going to ask you what your favourite Cookidoo recipe is. So make sure you have got your favourite Cookidoo recipe ready to share at the end. Now, another thing with exploring recipes that not everybody knows is if you go in, say I go into the low carb, high fat chicken Kievs, which I might just add, if you haven't tried these, make sure you do because they're really good. If you go down in that recipe, you'll come to where we've got tags. Now, this is if you are just having a bit of an explore and you want to know about some other recipes that are along the same lines as them. So this is tagged as a lunch and a dinner. If you wanted to keep it really broad, you could search hashtag dinner, and anything that they think is suitable for a dinner will be on there. But if we get a little bit more specific, your keto diet is tagged there. So you could actually click that tag and see how you've got that here now in your filters. And then this is going to bring up everything that is in English that is also hashtag ketogenic diet. Okay, so when you're just exploring recipes and you're looking for things to cook that might be new, exploring the tags is really helpful. Now, if you can't find a recipe to start off looking for tags, like because I went into the low carb recipe and then I clicked on that tag, if you go into filters once you've already searched in here, and then your tags are in here, or up. Tags are in here. So I've got ketogenic tagged, but I could maybe tag low carb, and then I could have a look at that. So it'll be similar recipes, but just a different tag. But that's where you can change your tags as well. Always remember to cross off your tags, because now when you've got that tag set, if I was then to search, say, caramel slice, it probably wouldn't bring up caramel slice because that's not tagged as low carb. Okay, so you want to just get rid of your tags once you've searched for what you want to do. Now, when you're searching through Cookidoo, my suggestion is that you make some folders. So if you go into created, you make some folders that are just for you. So I always tell people to make sure that they've got a to try folder, so that when they're flicking through Cookidoo and they're finding recipes that, oh, I wouldn't mind trying that, then they can actually pop them into the to try folder. And then once you've tried them, I can't find anything on here that I have actually now tried to change over. But once you have tried it, actually I have done ricotta. Once you've tried it, then you can pop it into one of your other folders that you know is a winner. So I've then got, other folders called, weekday winners. I know that I can have these ready with fairly minimal ingredients during the weeknights. Other people in our family have got their own favorites. And stuff like that. So a good way to actually organize your recipes, because there is thousands and thousands of recipes. It can get overwhelming when you're doing your meal plan, or when you're looking at what you're going to cook. When there's thousands of options, sometimes that is harder than it needs to be. So once you've organized your recipes, and you've had a bit of a search around, then you can do your meal plan. Now, I'd love to see in the chat anyone who is meal planning. Just give me a yes in the chat if you are meal planning already using Cookidoo. With Cookidoo, meal planning is really simple. Go to your folder, or you can go to just to explore if you want. But you can go to your folder where your recipes are that you normally have for dinners, and you hit the three buttons or the three dots, and you can add the recipe to your week. See that? And then you can just choose when you are going to have that recipe. So I'm just going to do a quick meal plan for next week. Chicken and spinach enchiladas. That's what I had that in my to try. I'm going to add that to my week because I still don't think I've actually made that yet. I do have a helper here today, and she just told me that they're amazing. Another consultant has told me about them, so I need to try them. We love the Mexican one-pot pasta. Hopefully it'll be nice and cool on Friday night and we can have that. What else is good? Have I got everybody? Anyway, so I've added a few recipes. What I'll do now is I'll go to my week up the top, and I'll have a look and see what days I've got. Oh, look, I'm missing Thursday, so let me just quickly go back to Thursday. What are we gonna, drum roll, what are we gonna have for Thursday? Oh, the chili beef with lemon feta. That is a winner. Thursday, done. Rightio, so now I go over to my week. Now, the first thing you want to do is clear your shopping list from the last things that you cooked. So last weekend, or on the weekend, I made the capsicum and sun-dried tomato dip, hot cross buns, obviously we had to have hot cross buns, the pecan pie and cheesecake cups. They are so good. They're really yummy. I made them for the first time on Sunday. And the seeded sheep crackers, which are always a winner in our house. But we've already done our shopping for that, so I'm going to go clear all because I don't need to have them in my shopping list anymore. Then I'm going to go to my little meal plan here, and then you want to add to the shopping list the recipes that you're going to shop for. So if you're only going to shop till, for ingredients until Wednesday, then you could just click along and say, add to shopping list, add to shopping list, add to shopping list. And that's usually what I do. I usually do, I get all my meals planned, but then I only shop for a few days ahead of time so that everything's nice and fresh. And then you can go show ingredients, just here. And then once you've hit show ingredients, this is where I then get my phone and open up my Cookidoo app on my phone. And then if you open up your Cookidoo app on your phone, you will see that all your shopping list is there. If you go into shopping list, your shopping list is then on your phone. You can go to your pantry, you can tick off what you've got, and that removes it from the shopping list. And, just like this, and they disappear. If you accidentally tick something that you want to bring back to the shopping list, you just go down the bottom and untick it, and it'll pop it back up in the shopping list. So yeah, you just go through and do that for your whole shopping list of what you've already got. I've got water. I've got rice. I need cream cheese. I need mozzarella. I've got parmesan. Meat, I'll probably need all that. I would actually untick that because I wouldn't buy that from Woolies, but it's on my list, so that's okay. Anyway, as you can see, I'm feeling like I've got a fairly well-stocked pantry when I can go through and tick all these things off because I have all of those things. Yep. Then I'd have to get most of that, I would say. The fresh stuff, I've got garlic. See how garlic was written in there twice? Because one was like 20 grams of garlic and one was 2 garlic cloves. So because it was listed slightly different, it's come up as 2 things. Normally, if it was just 200 grams of milk and 500 grams of milk, it would actually put that together if it's written the same way too. So that's handy to know. Sometimes you get a little double up. Okay, so now I've ticked off everything that I have got. If you ever think, I wonder what the broccoli's for, you can actually click over to buy recipe, and then you can just quickly see where's the broccoli. Oh, the broccoli's for the chicken teriyaki. That's a fairly important ingredient. I need to have that for that recipe. But if it was, coriander is my best example of that. If it says, half a bunch of coriander, and then you go into the recipe and it's only for a garnish, then you could untick it and leave it off your shopping list. Okay, so once you've got to here, this is where we can now click order ingredients, and we can only choose Woolworths as our store because that's the only place that we can do this at the moment. So we shop at Woolworths. We add to our Woolworths cart. Oh, oops. Don't know what happened then. Let me try that again. Add to Woolworths cart. There we go. Hopefully this will remember my password. Again, if you do your Woolworths shopping quite regularly, make sure your cart's empty before you do this. You'll notice that my cart is not empty because the last couple of times I've done this, I haven't actually checked out. Just ignore these things. It'll tell you that again when you get in there. They're just the things that it thinks that it doesn't have, or that your Woolworths doesn't have. Okay, so then you're in your Woolworths app, and then you go over here to view your cart. The 2 things that were unavailable, you can then search for them manually in Woolworths, but then everything else has been added to your cart. So, of course, with this, my disclaimer with this when it transfers over to Woolworths for you is it quite often doesn't choose the brands that you like or the amounts that you like. So you do have to go through and just check that it hasn't, chosen weird and wonderful bits and pieces for you. But the more you do it, the more clever it gets and the better it is of picking things that you normally buy and stuff like that as well. So that's how you do the Woolworths shopping, I've lost my words, meal plan to shopping list. Is there any questions on that section of Cookidoo? No, I've explained it perfectly and everyone understands 100%. I love it. Excellent. Rightio. All good. Thank you, Karen. So if we go back to sharing. Okay, so that's how to do the meal plan and the shopping list. Now, the big thing on everybody's lips is the Cookidoo 3.0 with allowing you to import your own recipe or modify one of Cookidoo's recipes. Now, this has been something that people have asked us about since the dawn of Thermomix and since the dawn of Cookidoo. It's always been the big thing of, can I put my own recipes on Cookidoo? Well, yes, you now can. So when you get into Cookidoo, go My Recipes and then go here, Created Recipes. Now, if for any reason you haven't got this on your Cookidoo, it means that you haven't been updated to the 3.0 and you just need to do that in your account settings, agree to 3.0. Now, when you go in here, you want to go Created Recipes and this will show you some of the ones that I've done. Just one second. My throat's getting a bit dry. Okay, so this will take you to your created recipes of what you have created so far as well, if you have created some. And there's a couple of different options with getting your recipes over to here. If you've got grandma's recipe that you've created, you've written down, you've got it on a piece of paper and you want to type it up into Cookidoo 3.0, all you need to do is hit the plus down here. It is a little bit hidden sometimes, but you'll just find the little plus symbol there. And you want to go create a recipe. Okay? Now I need to delete some of these, but I'm just going to call my recipe test. Oh, I've already got a test. Hang on a second. Okay, so we're going to call it test 2. And now this is where you've got full control over popping in your details and everything of your recipe. Now you can upload an image. That might be something that you do at the end. You might want to actually type in your recipe first. So the first thing you want to do is add your ingredients, and you can just pop them in. Try and keep it a little bit uniformed. So if it is 100 grams of water, put the measurement first all along, make sure it's nice and neat. It might be 50 grams of flour, don't know what I'm making here, 20 grams of garlic. I don't know. So yeah, keep that nice and uniformed in your ingredients. So you want to put all your ingredients with the weights. Definitely if you are converting grandma's recipe and grandma put in 2 cups of flour or a tablespoon of this or whatever, the old way that we used to write recipes, make sure that when you're doing your recipe testing, you're actually weighing the ingredients, because it's much easier for your recipe to be fully converted to Thermomix, including the weight of the ingredients once you go as well. Okay, so we've got our ingredients. Then all we do is add our first step. So click your first step, and you can then, this is just free writing. You can write this however you want. So you might want to add the water, let's say, and so you write the word, and then you want to just tick the water, and it will actually come up with that, so that it will tell you that that's when you add the 100 grams of water. You want to tick that, you want to go next, you want to then say heat the water up. You want to do 10 minutes, Varoma, speed 3. Okay, so you just select your time, temperature, speed, exactly like you would on your Thermomix, and give it a tick. Okay, and then give that a tick, and then add your next ingredient or add your next step. Again, I don't know what kind of recipe this is, but it doesn't sound very nice, does it? Water, flour, and garlic. What am I making, Sally? So add your flour, and then even here you could add in a step to mix that, you know, for 1 minute, temperature off, speed 1.5, I don't know, and tick. Okay, and that is how you do it. You just keep going until all your steps are in of the recipe that you've brought over, and then just green button, confirm, and done, and then that has saved that one for us. Now, if there's a recipe that you really like, say from Cookidoo, let's say there's actually I'm thinking of the caramel slice that I was looking at earlier. So find the recipe. So this caramel slice, I think I've found a little bit of a problem with this recipe. So I'm just copying the URL of that recipe from up the top, and then I'm going back to my created recipes, and I'm going to import a recipe, and by pasting the URL there. So does everyone see what I did there? I grabbed the URL from the recipe and I pasted it in here, and then I'm importing it. So basically that's just imported that Cookidoo recipe in. It has got all of the steps already in here for me, all of the ingredients already loaded, okay? I can add my own tips and hints and variants and all of that. I can now call it, tweaked salted caramel slice, or whatever I want to call it. I could put my own photo in if I think I've done a better job than that one. But what I can do is I can change some of the ingredients as well. Now, I feel like this needs to be 250 grams of milk chocolate. And because I don't like dark chocolate, and I didn't feel like there was enough chocolate in it when I made it. And I think that, what was my other problem with this? Oh no, that was all. And then when I go over here, I'm happy with all these steps. Yep, they're great. But here, I think that 50 is too hot for the chocolate. I think that the chocolate would be better at 45 for longer time. So I'm going to say 5 minutes, but at a lower temperature, because I feel like the chocolate got a little bit burnt. I'm going to go like that. And then in the hints and tips, confirm that. In the hints and tips, I'm just going to say check chocolate and repeat if needed. Just to remind myself that I have, repeat if needed. I can't spell. Just to remind myself that I have changed that, that step, and it might need a little bit longer. Okay, and then I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that recipe. And now when I go into my tweaked caramel, salted caramel slice on my Thermomix, it'll be my tweaks will come up on my step-by-step instructions. Now, if you've got a favorite recipe at the recipe community, go to the recipe community. I don't know. What's your favorite recipe at the recipe community, Sally Moragas?
It's called a raw berry slice.
Oh, raw
or maybe
berry?
raw chocolate berry slice, actually. There it is, that one at the top.
This one. Oh,
yeah.
Rightio. There you go.
Anything with chocolate.
Nice. And it's raw, so it's healthy. It's good for you. That's what you're telling me? You can eat as much as you like. That's what I like to hear.
That's
okay, so make sure you're logged into Cookidoo on your computer. Come over to the recipe community. There's a button here that says add to Cookidoo. Anything that's been published on the recipe community, you are allowed to have as your own, and you are allowed to add it to Cookidoo. So confirm that you want to add it to Cookidoo. Now, have you added this one to Cookidoo yet, Sal?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. So what were the instructions like? Were they well written?
Yeah,
To
I
your
just
liking?
find then you just need to kind of go to that edit bar and then kind of pop the you want to touch the little icon with the blade and
Yeah.
then turn those steps into Thermomix guided stepping. So it's
Yes.
just a case of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that it also brings up your ingredients, what I like to do is highlight the ingredient, and then go here. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it doesn't matter if you don't highlight it. Where is the raw cashews? Oh, so it's only 150 of the 300. So that
Yes.
would be a little bit hard, that one, because it's only half of the cashews. But if you put, like, say, the cacao, you want to add the cacao powder. Sorry, then you have to highlight it and delete it out, because otherwise it won't make sense. But you can actually click through the ingredients as well. Oh dear, there we go. I want it there. So you want to put it where you want it, and then you want the coconut oil, and then you want to just delete the oil like that. It will then bring those up on your
Yeah,
N150. It
yes.
will then bring them up on the list when you've got your scales up. So then that'll be easy for you to grab. And then you want to blitz it for 20 seconds on speed 9.3. That's very specific, isn't it? Is that a typo, do you think?
Yes, I would then tidy that up. I'm pretty sure it's 20 seconds speed 9. I'll check
Speed
mine.
9. Yeah.
Yeah.
20 seconds, speed 9.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can pop that in, and then you can just delete that bit there, and then that's done. Okay, so then that's kind of just judged up that recipe, those instructions. Because at the recipe community, they've been written by just everyday people. So some of the instructions are very Thermomix written, and some are just written like the person is speaking. So it's like, blitz it on speed 9 for about 20 seconds. Some are written like that. So they're a bit harder to actually convert to the Thermomix way of doing it. But at least it's already been worked out for you, and you don't have to be testing it as well. So you would just do that for those 3 steps, go through and edit those, and then you would be done with that one. I'm definitely going to try this one, Sally, recommended by Sally Maragas. And that is then in your created recipes. So it's literally that easy. You probably wouldn't want to do that until you've tested that recipe. Like, I wouldn't go to recipe community and add all the ones that I like the sound of. I would make sure and test them first before I added them. Leisha, yes.
Yeah, is there a set number of recipes you can add to this?
Yeah, so at the moment you can have 100. Okay. But that will change, apparently. They've told us that is something that will change once we start filling up our Cookidoo 3.0s.
Yeah, Jacinta's got a question. Can you share your created recipes with friends?
Not at this stage, no.
But you can if you move them to recipe community first.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
right? And then
that's actually the way we used to share recipes. So at recipe community, you can log into recipe community and then create a recipe. And then that would be a way of, popping your recipe, if you want to share it with everybody, adding it into recipe community and then adding it over to your Cookidoo. But then you can share that link with anybody and they can add it to their Cookidoo as well. Good point, Sally. I need to note that down. So, yeah. So now, any other questions? Let me check the chat. Oh, there we go. Yes, you definitely can edit a recipe once you've created it. You can go back as many times as you like. Coriander gets me every time. Yes, you never have to buy the coriander. Just don't do it. It's terrible stuff. Okay, so any other questions, ladies? Okay. Oh, did I get a question? How do you convert OZ? Do you mean if a cookie dough recipe, who's asked that? Shay, do you mean if so you don't actually convert it, your Thermomix converts to that weighing method. So if you go into an American recipe that's in pounds and ounces, your Thermomix, when you're cooking that, will automatically, the scales will change to pounds and ounces, and you will be weighing in that amount. If you wanted to do it and convert the recipe yourself so you didn't have to do that, then I guess you'd just Google it and then go through and change it yourself. There's no simple fix on that one, unfortunately. The other thing with pounds and ounces, I'm not sure which recipe that you're referring to, Shay, but quite often you will see like the veggie stock recipe, for instance. There is a copy of the veggie stock recipe that was published in the American Basic Cookbook, and it was published in our Basic Cookbook. Now, in our Basic Cookbook, it's in grams, and in theirs, it's in ounces, but it's already been converted. So have a search around to make sure that that recipe hasn't already got an Australian or a English conversion as well. Oh, okay, you just tend to avoid them if you see them in ounces. Well, you'll be very impressed that your Thermomix is smart enough to work that out, because my favourite mojito recipe is in ounces, and it hasn't been converted anywhere that I know of. So you just have to pour really carefully, because you can't really estimate pounds and ounces unless you know that measurement. Very good. Don't be scared, Shay. It's super easy, and there's some great American recipes. There are some really good overseas recipes. So don't be scared. Okay, so who wants to share their favourite cookie dough recipe with me? You can share in the chat, or you can come off mute and tell us. What's your favourite cookie dough recipe? Don't all rush off mute at once now, just one at a time. Oh, Jacinta, I can't say that word. I always get that wrong. Oh, Shay's is butter chicken. Which butter chicken out of the Indian collection, Shay? I hope. Oh, well, I don't hope. Whichever one you like the best. But the one that is really yummy is, caramel and macadamia slice, lemon rosemary chicken, US filter. Okay, Jess, you're all over it. Great. I just want to share quickly, just in case Shay's hasn't tried this butter chicken. If you type in butter chicken, there is quite a few butter chickens, Shay, so you need to tell me which one. But this one is my pick of all the butter chickens, and it's the Merk Makane. I hope I'm saying that right. That's how I say that one. So make sure you note that down and tell me if that's the one that you've been making, Shay. That's it. Good job. 10 out of 10, Shay. Chili garlic prawns, Sally. Rightio. I feel like, Sally, you've got a different favourite every time.
I do. I was going to do a cocktail, but I thought you'd all think I was cocktail crazy.
Oh, that's
Chocolate
okay.
and cocktails.
Cocktails are my favourite thing on Cookidoo at the moment. Diane, have you got a favourite recipe on Cookidoo, love? Oh, lemon curd. You've already written it. It is a winner, isn't it? Very easy. Did you make lemon curd the other way, like the old-fashioned way before you had a Thermomix? Yep. Very good. So it's much easier, isn't it? Yep. She's just agreeing with me. Excellent. Rightio. The salt and caramel slice without the salt. Okay. And tell me, Stacey, do you use the dark chocolate and that amount? I couldn't get that to be the right amount of chocolate for me.
No, I did milk chocolate. And
a bit more?
Yeah.
That's what I found as well. And I think that it's too hot. But anyway, that's just my expert opinion where I am definitely
The
not.
caramel and base were really good though.
Yes, the
And
caramel.
it's hard to find a good caramel slice.
Yes. The caramel is delicious, isn't it? It's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
And I use
Leisha?
my homemade condensed milk in it too.
Ooh, okay. How easy is it to make your own condensed milk in the Thermomix? You wouldn't think that it would be that easy, would you?
No.
If someone had told you before you had a Thermomix? Leisha, have you shared your favourite recipe with me? I think you're the only one. No, I'm
I've got a
still
few,
waiting to hear
but
from
I would have to say the lasagna is amazing.
Yep.
And, strawberry jam has to be a winner.
Yep. In like less than half an hour.
Oh,
Yep. So good, isn't it?
it's amazing. It's all amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. How long have you had your Thermomix for?
Oh, probably maybe 2 years.
Oh, radio. Yep. Very good. Radio, I'm going to stop my recording. Thanks for listening to the recording if you have.